Hey everyone, welcome to Smash Trivia. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia to follow everything happening with me. I'll be the boy with the big old green head in the profile picture. I'm so excited to get into this. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, in this series, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies and TV shows, and maybe I could get into comics at some point, but that's a while off. Hope you enjoy Smash Trivia Presents the Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening if they could please do something for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends because I really want to get the Gamma Analysis to be big enough that by the time She-Hulk comes out, maybe I could become press and either get the first episode early or be invited to premiere or even just get one of the press goodie bags. For this episode, I'm going to review the second episode of the 80s Incredible Hulk animated series. Our co-host today is Rob from the Weekly Meat Podcast. How are you doing, Rob?
I am fantastic. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. So my trivia question for you today is during this storyline, Hulk was chosen as one of the worthy and transformed into Null, the breaker of worlds. Can you name the storyline?
I cannot. I'll have to wait till the end.
All right. I will give the answer later in the episode. And as I always say, I highly recommend watching the episode before you listen to this podcast because while I do try to talk about everything in the episode, there are a lot of times where I will miss something, and also just being as a commentary on the episode. It may not make a whole lot of sense if you're just listening to the episode of the podcast. So this week, the podcast that I want to shout out is the Verbal Diorama podcast. As I listened to her Batman 89 episode, and it was absolutely fantastic. She not only reviews the film, but also goes into a lot of interesting history on both the character and how the film came to be. So definitely check them out if you like a very in-depth geeky review. Let's get into this review. This episode is titled Prisoner of the Monster.
Ooh.
Yes. So, first thing I wanted to mention as we are talking about the episode is so I noticed I noticed this because of the She-Hulk trailer coming out last night. I think there's a moment in the She-Hulk trailer that's kind of a callback to a moment in the intro to this series. As in the She-Hulk trailer, Bruce has Jen trying and in this room where she has to transform or a shrinking wall will kill her. And I thought that callback is kind of cool. Yeah. So I definitely wanted to mention that on the this episode. And though those who are listening to this, it will not be the day after the She-Hulk trailer came out, but it is for us as we're recording this.
Yeah, I love that trailer, and you're right. That stress room or whatever, the stress chamber, total throwback. As soon as I saw her hands go into it, I was just like, "Oh wow, they're doing it!" And then when she rips the door off, I was like, "This is it." That was my favorite scene in the trailer.
I really love that too. I like Have you seen my reaction and video to the trailer yet?
I have not. I've been working all day.
It's all right. It's all right. But I remember when I was reacting to it. So though you can't hear me very well on the video because this is my first time ever doing a reaction video, so I'm not good at it. But during that scene, I thought it was really funny. Basically at the same time as I'm as Hulk was saying yes, 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 I was literally saying, yes, yes, yes. This
That's
is so
awesome.
cool. And then as she oaked the door down, I also, just as Hulk was saying, no, 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 I was saying, no, no, no. Oh man, that was great. And I'm so excited for She-Hulk. I think it's gonna be a fantastic series. And I honestly, I know everyone is complaining about the CGI, but I kind of liked how it looked.
I like how it looks, and we still have time before it
Yeah.
actually airs for them to clean it up. They just wanted to give us a taste of something. Like, shame on Marvel and Disney for trying to give us something to look forward to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she looks pretty good. Another scene in it that I really loved was the scene at the end where she's carrying the guy to her bedroom.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool, and like, is sign that would happen in a She-Hulk comic.
yeah. The if I'm not mistaken, I haven't looked it up yet, but the list of guys that she's dating at the end of the trailer, one of them I think is a former WWE wrestler.
Yeah, I saw that apparently, yeah, that's one of the actors who plays them. And there's also, though it's not confirmed, but there's one frame in the trailer while she's looking at that dating app that has in the reflection, it looks like it may be Matt Murdock.
Huh.
So that's gonna be cool. Which I have heard some rumors that Matt Murdock and She-Hulk could be getting it on in a very physical way in the show, which definitely excites me. I think
Right.
that would be cool. A really cool. Yeah. So that show's just gonna be amazing. What at least I can't imagine that it ends up not being amazing. I
Right.
think there's no chance of that. And like, it's gonna probably feel different from everything else Marvel's done. But before Guardians of the Galaxy, that that everyone thought that was gonna flop because it was gonna be different than everything else. But it
Exactly.
ended up being something that everybody loves.
Yep. Except for my wife.
Well, sadly, it can't be for everyone.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly mention a little bit about the She-Hulk trailer before, as we're going into this. This is the first podcast episode I've recorded since that came out, so I'm really happy to be able to talk to someone about it. Because though I have talked in some messages to people about it, I haven't really actually talked
Right.
physically to people about it. So that's really nice. Oh man. So let's see the next thing I wrote down in my notes. So the episode starts with us seeing this cabin camping area sort of thing, and Hulk emerging from the forest and scaring everyone who's packing up to leave the cabins. And then Hulk sent a van barreling for no apparent reason, but it seems. But I really enjoyed watching Hulk hit it. And the land breaks under Hulk's feet, and the two cabins fall into a newly formed cavern. And we're then shown on Ross and Talbot watching this on a TV that I feel is much more flat screen than what I'd expect from a TV in the 80s. Um, would you agree with that? Because it was a very flat screened TV there.
Yeah, a lot of different looks that they gave that screen. And I wrote so that when they're out doing the camping part, they're doing a lot of spelling. Like, I was like, it's like they're trying to tell the dog they're going outside without without letting the dog know. And I was like, what is going on here? And then
Yeah,
it was very strange.
there was a point where I was wondering, like when I was seeing that first scene, I was like, I part of me was wondering, is this actually Hulk? Because he wasn't saving people or anything. He was actively just causing chaos there, which doesn't seem like Hulk. So that was interesting, but they didn't really go back to that at all in the episode. So I'm guessing we're supposed to believe that definitely was Hulk who did that.
He's just having a fit or something.
Yeah, I guess. So they say that they gotta stop Hulk, and then and we see Bruce with Betty walking up to the house, which the house looks really nice for sign on a military base. I would be surprised to see inside that nice. Like, oh my god, yeah, that was interesting. But so they mentioned then a picnic tomorrow, which at the time I felt like it could end up being relevant later in the episode, whether it be that he wasn't able to make it to the picnic, or we'd actually see the picnic, but it ended up not coming back at all. Because that feels like a line where them particularly mentioning that it would like go somewhere or possibly
some kind of callback to it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, but there are other things in this episode that we get calls back to at the end, so which we'll get to. It's all right. That's not Zai. So we then get Ed our first Stan Lee narration for the episode, and it's glorious. Stan says Bruce can never escape the Incredible Hulk as he sees Hulk on Ross's TV. And then and Talbot tries to get Betty's attention, but Betty completely ignores him, which I wrote, "Oh, good for her." Ross says that they should be more worried about the Hulk because they have big things coming on base. And Bruce says the testing of the sonar crystallizer is ready, and Talbot says, "You better be, because this is big."
Yeah.
And Betty responds, "It's GOOD good."
Right, that's where it was. I was like, "What are they doing?"
Yeah, it was weird. Like, I wrote after that. I don't know what's going on with that, but I found it really hilarious.
Yeah,
how out of place it felt.
Right. It was enough to make me just look up and be like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Oh man. So then Rosh owes them a Pentagon tape of this gun on the crystallizer that which can pulverize rock to create farmland. He says that as it could have crystallized the lava on Mount St. Helens and saved many lives. And I wrote, which just ended up being the case, almost immediately, but I wrote, somehow I feel like this, as it is an overpowered weapon, the villain is going to want to take it. And then we are immediately shown a villain and his goon who want to take it.
Yes.
Yep, because it definitely seemed like a very overpowered weapon.
Yeah, it could do everything but destroy the Hulk.
Uh-huh. Yep. So the one of them, one of the people, the actual villain is looks like this short mob boss, and then we have his goon who looks a lot like Mr. Clean.
Or I called him Vin Diesel.
Okay, yeah. And that was that. Sorry, that's a question, Ashton, which is I think could be a bit of a plot hole here. Is how did they get a copy of this Pentagon tape? As you know, I imagine the Pentagon is probably not easy to steal classified tapes from.
Maybe Hydra existed they're just that deep. They're that deep that they were back in the 80s cartoons. We just didn't know.
Oh man, I just thought that was really funny how like he just had that. There was no explanation. He just had it.
It's like, oh, look what came in the mail.
Yes. All right. So the next thing I have is that. So the next scene we see Rio's Rancheros,
Rio!
which is definitely Rob, your favorite restaurant in all of Marvel.
I would definitely, if they could recreate a Rio's somewhere at Disney, I would definitely spend my week's paycheck sitting there eating some Rio's Ranchero cuisine.
So I imagine it's probably not very good food based on the fact that he doesn't have any business.
It's just like truck stop tacos that give you the runs. He's too busy out doing adventures with the Hulk to tend to the actual food, so it sits out and gets old.
Yeah, it also probably doesn't help that it's probably hard to air condition out in the desert.
That is right.
And I imagine the army is not giving him any of their power to help with air conditioning.
No,
there's probably no chance of that.
It's a hard life. It's a hard life for Rio.
Yep. So they're up in the attic looking for a recipe for chicken wings from his I think he said grandmother in an old trunk. So and Rick finds the trunk, but he's not careful and causes it to knock over. And vases that were on top of it hit Rick in the head, which causes Rio to tell him happy birthday for some reason.
I wrote in my notes, the next time someone gets something shattered over their head, I'm just gonna yell out happy birthday.
I just like what was going on? I'm not sure what was going on there, but okay. That was really funny.
His face when he said, he's just like, happy birthday.
Oh man.
So good.
Yeah. Oh my god. So yeah, I wrote that I'm not sure what the joke with happy birthday was, but Rick getting hit with the vase for his stupidity was really funny. And they find both the recipes and a map in the trunk. And I wrote down while watching that I wonder if this means we're getting a treasure hunt in this episode, which I think is a very exciting idea. And that ended up kind of being the case. In the episode, we then see Bruce is doing some tests on a machine as Rio and Rick walk in. Rio tells him how this map takes him to a hidden village and he tells them a story about it. In this story, we find out about this man who fell into a volcano. And afterwards, every time he got angry, he turned into a big green monster. Yes, and I wrote at the time though I'm guessing we were gonna get a ancient Hulk in this episode. I hope that present day Hulk gets to meet him, but sadly, present day Hulk did not get to meet ancient Hulk. I was hoping it was a Hulk that was still alive today, but whatever. That would be really cool having two Hulks on screen together.
That would have been like I don't want to call him caveman Hulk, but like an ancient Hulk that they didn't have the animators for that kind of action back then.
Yeah. Oh man. And also as we're seeing this flashback, the ancient Hulk, because of his facial hair, I feel like this was what like Danny Trejo would look like if he became a Hulk. Which makes me really want to see that now.
Machete Hulk.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Hulk gets angry. Dios míos.
Oh man, I would love that. I love the Machete movies. I wish they ended up making that third one. The next thing I wrote down was I wrote, yes, Ancient Hulk, smash that straw house.
Yeah, it didn't take much.
Yep. But Rio says they cured him with a secret potion, and he went on to become a great ruler of the town. And the potion is supposedly enshrined in a temple to this very day. Rick says as there's a training flight going to the Yucatan, and he already got Bruce's seat so he can and search for the temple. And as the plane is about to take off, Rita sneaks Rick on the plane in a potato sack.
Man, Rick Jones got some deep pockets. He's wild as hell, buying tickets, planning stuff. Just here you go, Bruce.
Oh man. Though I think throughout this episode we very much are able to see that Rick Jones isn't a very smart person.
He's wild, not very smart, but he has good intentions.
Yeah. I wrote that Rick sneaking on the plane in a potato sack. I wrote while watching it before we actually saw him get on the plane. This can't end well for Rick, which didn't, as the sack was just gets thrown on the plane. That's gotta hurt.
Bonk.
Like, I feel like in real life, if that happened, you'd have multiple broken bones.
For sure.
Oh man. Then the next thing we have is, let's see. Rick lets Bruce know that he's a stowaway, and then we get some more Stan Lee narration as we see a Cosmo, which is as I call him Mr. Clean Wannabe, as you call him Vin Diesel, driving a limo. And his boss tells him the plan and to check their phony ID passes. And then Cosmo calls him Spy Master, which is a character in the comics, but in my short time glancing at him on Google, it doesn't look at all like his comic book counterpart.
I'll say that ain't him.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's like probably about as much of the opposite of how he looks in the comics as possible.
Right. How are you gonna spy like that?
Yeah. Oh man. So let's see. There's some more narration from Stan the Man as Bruce finds a guide to help them. And then back at the base, Ross is mad that Bruce took a vacation, but he needs him for the crystal because he needs him for the crystallizer test as it's been moved up. Bruce, Rick, and their guide get their vehicle stuck in mud, and so I guess they're gonna have to walk on foot from here onward. As the car sinks, Rick tries to help the guide out, but he gets stuck on his seat. I guess Rick isn't smart enough to just move the strap down and off where he got it stuck on.
Right, he could have just removed his arm.
It literally showed you where it was, and there was literally just push it down and it would have come off. It was very simple.
Rick Jones has a hard time sometimes.
Yeah. Oh my god. So let's see. Bruce tells the guy to jump, and then he tries to help himself, but he gets grabbed by two almost naked people. And then more almost naked people come and zap Bruce until he turns into the Hulk. And we get another awesome Hulk transformation that ends with him hitting his fist together, which I thought was really cool, seeing him hit his fists together like that. I don't think that's in most of the transformations, so that was really cool to see. Let's see.
I wrote that scene where while he's holding the Jeep over his head, that shot that looks up looks like some old like Jack Kirby art that they just snuck into the episode. Like it didn't fit and it looked out of place, but it looked like, old school Hulk animation. And it was just it's just like this real quick shot. And I really liked that for some reason. Like I thought during the transformation that scene was really cool.
Oh yeah, I loved it. So the next thing I wrote down was let's see, the half-naked people think that it's Ancient Hulk and say he has returned. They pelt spears at him and he breaks all of them with ease. You'd think these people, since they have dealt with a Hulk in the past, would have tried to prepare in the years for a possible return of him, and not just have spears that they should know would not be able to pierce him.
They had the potion set aside, but spears aren't going to do it.
Yeah, but I would imagine back when an Ancient Hulk was out, they probably used spears on him too, and it didn't work then. And so you would think that they would be smart enough to upgrade their stuff in hopes it'll. I just thought that was really funny. And then Hulk then shouts, "Nothing can hurt Hulk." And I know that this is the same Hulk actor as in the first episode, but for some reason, it sounded more like Hulk to me this episode than the first episode. I'm guessing he's like the actor got his groove more with the role than he now as he's playing it more than just that first episode.
Right.
Do you agree that it sounded more Hulk-like in this one than the first one?
Yeah, he probably recorded that first one months prior to the green light on the new one, and then he just sat there and cranked out 4 or 5 episodes worth. And
probably.
That's when you hear the groove.
So I don't know for certain that that's how animation works, but I do know for certain that is with live action stuff that the pilot episode is done months before everything else.
Right.
I think animation works a bit differently, but I'm not sure. So the half-naked people run away, except people who are in trees, until Hulk punches the trees, causing the half-naked people to fall from the sky. And Hulk, I think, enjoys his deforestation a lot. Rick yells for Hulk to help. Hulk proceeds to pick up the car.
That's where the Jeep was, yeah.
And out of the mud with just one hand. And Rick tells the guy to hold on as he grabs a vine to swing on. Hulk then decides, we don't need the vehicle anymore, and just throws it into the forest, which I thought was pretty funny.
Just rolls it away.
Yep. Oh man. Back at the base, Spy Master is trying to get in, but his passes don't work quite right. He starts saying, "I'm a general," but is cut off as Talbot comes to berate the soldier for not having a particular button on his outfit, And Spy Master says, I was just about to mention that myself, Major. And so Talbot lets him through. And
Sneaky. So sneaky.
I wrote, is this going to be a theme through the show that Talbot's actions and let villains on base?
Talbot's the Rick Jones of the other side.
Oh man, I just thought it was funny how his actions in the first episode as well, they were part of what led Doc Octopus to be able to get on base, because he sent all the soldiers after the Hulk, so there wasn't people protecting the base.
Maybe Talbot leaked the Pentagon video.
Yeah, so I did have a theory in the first episode that Talbot was the person that Dr. Octopus mentioned as his leak,
right?
Like inside the military. So let's see. This scene actually reminded me of something that happened to me last week, as of when I'm recording. My family and I we went to Arizona for my brother's military graduation last week, and as we got to the gate, the soldier at the gate just let us through without getting our visitor passes and directed us to the visitor center or on the other side of the gate to get our passes, but failed to tell us that we need to park outside the gate to get them. So we parked, and then this lady came out absolutely pissed because we weren't allowed to be there. We're not government agents. And she told us to drive back around out to the gate and park on the outside entrance to the visitor center. And then we saw her go to scold the soldier for letting us in, and yeah, he got in a lot of trouble for letting us in. And we saw later as we were inside the visitor center getting our passes. The soldier came inside, and he had his head down as he walked through another door. I'm guessing something really bad happened with him.
Oh yeah.
Because he was not supposed to do that. I bet it would have been even more trouble if it had been a major who let us in and we were villains.
Right. Good thing you weren't like Doc Ock or had Vin Diesel clean with you.
Yep. So we did have a bald person with us, so as every single one of my brothers is bald. I'm the only one who's not.
Nothing wrong with the bald folks.
Yeah. But I just like giving them crap about it because I know that they're annoyed that they've lost their hair, but well, I haven't yet.
Enjoy it.
Yep, I'm planning on keeping my hair as long as I can, even if I start losing it, I'm going to keep it as long as I can just to annoy them.
It's the little things.
Yep. This is not a lot as the youngest person of five brothers. I could do that they can't, so it's nice when this time I can.
Oh yeah.
The next thing I wrote down was, let's see, Bruce, Rick, and their guide follow the half-naked people behind a waterfall. And Rick says, wow, this is like right out of a science fiction flick, as he sees some giant mushrooms. Which, even before that, he said that, like, I was literally immediately, when we saw the giant mushrooms, I was like, this reminds me of Jurassic 2, not Jurassic, Journey to the Mysterious Island. Have you seen that film?
I thought you were talking about Journey to the Center of the Earth.
It's the sequel to Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Okay.
basically they go to this island where like the things that are supposed to be big are small, and things that are supposed to be small are all big. And
Nice.
And it's and so seeing the giant mushrooms reminded me of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Bruce sees is up ahead the temple that Rio told them about. They see two guards protecting it, and Bruce tells Rick he needs his help trying to get in. We then see Bruce try to Mission Impossible his way in by being lowered down by a rope.
That was so awkward looking.
Yeah. Oh man. So as Bruce tries to inch closer to the potion, we hear Stanley say, "Is it true? Is the long search really over? Is Bruce Banner about to grasp his cure?" And at that moment, Rick lets go of the rope as a group of the half-naked people ambush him and the guide. And as Bruce falls to the floor, he says, "I guess it's time for plan B." He grabs the potion, and from under where the potion sat, the room fills with a brown substance. Now, I'm not sure whether this was like some kind of chemical or if this was some kind of powder, but Bruce started running out of there. We really weren't told what it was. Bruce tries to push a stone out from the wall, but when it doesn't budge, she opens the bottle and says, "I gotta chance it." He drinks it and sees behind him a doorway closing. And I wrote that I know he's trying to cure himself for the long run, but I don't think it was smart drinking that at this time.
While he's in peril.
If it did work, he can't turn into the Hulk and break out of here. You should he should be at least thinking about like short term. Maybe it's not the best time to do this.
How smart are you, Dr. Banner?
He's literally trying to push a stone out of the wall. It won't work. Oh yeah, I'm gonna make it so it's even less likely for me to be able to push it out of the wall. What? Okay. Oh, this is funny. Oh man. Then let's see. Bruce slides through under the closing door, showing more of how active he is. Just like how in the first episode he did that parkour at the beginning of it.
He's a nimble man.
Yeah, I think this is probably like one of the most active adaptations we've had of Bruce Banner.
Yeah, this Banner runs. He does parkour like you said. We've now seen the Indiana Jones style slide.
Mm-hmm. So the next thing we have is that as he runs, boulders fall behind him, and he falls through a bunch of leaves into a pit. The walls start squishing him in as he tries to push him. And I feel like that long of a fall would have definitely either killed him in real life or at least knocked him out.
Right.
Especially if he doesn't have Hulk in him to save him anymore. So that was interesting. Yeah, I say so Hulk actually does start coming out a little bit to save him.
Right.
But Hulk does not get to the point of being green. And as narrated by Stan Lee, the transformation stops, turning him back to Banner. The potion worked. The Hulk is gone forever. But without the awesome power of the Green Goliath, what will happen to the doomed Bruce Banner? And then up above, one of the half-naked people turns off a lever which stops the walls, and Rick, who's with them, and calls down to Bruce, "Doc, are you okay? Hey, look at yourself. No more Hulk." And then and next we see a bunch of the half-naked people laughing alongside their guide. And then Bruce plus us Rick are in front of the ruler on her throne, who says Jamala cannot allow our sacred temple to be violated. Which is interesting because she's speaking in third person, based on the fact that that Bruce calls her Jamala later.
Right.
Which she doesn't really seem to be that someone who thinks that highly of herself that she would speak in third person. But I like at first during that scene, I was thinking like she was talking to like a god or something, being called Jamala. Then Bruce called her Jamala, so I was like, oh, okay.
Here we are.
Yep. Let's see. Bruce gets down on one knee, pleading, I had no choice, Your Majesty. That potion has cured me of the same raging monster that once lived within your own prince. She responds, because my warriors saw this raging green monster, I do believe you. She walks down from her throne, and we hear more laughter. And she tells the guide that he knows the jungle too well, that she can't allow him to leave. And I wrote, what is going on here? Two of the ladies are scratching his neck like he's a pet.
Yeah, it was very reminiscent of the Amazons from Futurama. Have you ever seen that episode?
I haven't seen Futurama, sadly.
Oh man, yeah, they end up on an Amazon planet, and they punish the men by having sex with them, but they're giant Amazon women, and they're all excited at first, but they don't stop, and they look over at one point, and like the previous prisoners' bones are like in position where they were with the women, but their pelvises are all like shattered.
Yep.
So yeah, as soon as I saw them like rubbing up on the tour guide, I was just like, oh, it's the Amazons.
It really felt like a really weird situation in there. Oh man. So let's see. So Rick pipes up, my girlfriend is gonna kill me if I don't get back for our date Saturday night. So what do you say, tall lady? Rick then gets a spear pointed in his face. Jamala tells them, I don't wish to hurt you, for you have suffered enough, Dr. Banner. I forgive both of you. Well, and Bruce thanks her, but what about our guide? The guide puts his arms around the two ladies. Is there by him, saying, I'll be very happy to spend my final days here.
He's gonna be so happy.
Oh man, that's because most people want to be treated like a pet, but like that. At first, it might seem nice, but then like once you like really think about how you probably you should start realizing, oh, this is terrifying. This is really terrifying.
One of them was going to pick him up and walk him away like She-Hulk at the end of the trailer.
Oh man, yeah. Though I imagine She-Hulk will probably be nicer to her date than they will probably be to him.
Let's hope.
That's all. Oh man. So Jamala says, go, doctor, for you are cured. The potion will not work again. It only works once.
How did they know that?
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe somehow the ancient Hulk got turned into Hulk again before he died. I I expected in the episode that they'd find a way to turn him back into Hulk again, but immediately when they said that, like, you know that there's something like there's something going on of odd. He's gonna have to turn himself back into the Hulk,
Right.
like, oh man. And then and back at the base, Ace, Ross, and Talbot are watching Betty, telling her, "Let's get the test started." And they fire the crystallizer at a jeep, and it turns into rubble.
Just a black mush.
Yep. It really looked like in that scene, like Betty was kind of uncomfortable doing this without Bruce there, which I feel like it's weird that weird General Ross being her father, like, yeah, he cares a lot about the military side of things, but he still cares a lot about his daughter. I think he would care about the fact that she feels uncomfortable with this situation. I would think.
Not if it's going to take out the Hulk.
Yeah, but yeah, it's and he would be nicer to her when talking to her, or like here. I don't know. He's always kind of seemed like, well, yes, he's willing to be very strict and serious towards Bruce. He usually has a bit of a nicer tone when he's talking to his daughter.
Yep.
But he didn't seem to have that here. So then we see Bruce and Rick get back to the base, and the guard at the gate lets him know the tests are underway. The general is looking for you. And Bruce tells Rick then to get to the lab fast. And as they drive, Bruce asks Rick if they drive, if he'd be up for being a best man. And Rick asks if he's proposing. And he responds, "I'm free now, Rick. I can live my own life, and Betty is gonna be a big part of it." And then, were you gonna say something?
So wholesome.
Yeah.
It was like so out of place.
Oh yeah.
Gonna make her my best gal, Rick.
Yep. Though it seems like he's not like they're, even though it's very obvious they both like each other, they're not dating yet. You would think that he would be smart enough to be like, maybe I don't propose on our first date, but he's just so he's so like, this has to happen.
The confidence level is at an all-time high.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So back at the in the lab, we see Bruce running in. Talbot noticing is him saying, "Well, look who's finally here." And then Betty and her father welcome him back. Bruce tells her something wonderful has happened, something important to both of us. Dinner tonight? There's a big question I want to ask you. And Betty says, "I can't wait." And then General Ross calls him over to work on the test. Bruce seemingly just shoots the crystallizer at random, which I thought was pretty funny looking out of the screen.
Pushing out. Does this do it?
Yeah. Then we see Betty tried to use this machine. I did not catch what kind of machine it was, but it doesn't work because Spy Master just came in and shot the machine. And he says, as one of them asked why the machine's not working, a Spy Master says, "Everything looks fine to me." And then and Mr. Cosmo Clean grabs Betty, putting his hand over her mouth. And Bruce runs in front of the gun saying, "Let go of her." And Spy Master tells him to stop right there. And General Ross, get the crystallizer on a cargo plane now. And I'm taking you, General, as extra insurance. Bruce tells him to leave Betty and her father here. I'll be your hostage. The Spy Master shoots his gun, which apparently shoots with pure electricity. I don't know how that works, but okay. Bruce tells Talbot to get out of the way, and Talbot fails to do so and gets hit. Bruce starts running as the electricity follows him, and which I also don't think is how electricity works.
Not even a
okay. Little. Bruce turns on a sprinkler to eat up the force field, which I'm guessing he's calling the electricity the force field, even though it's never been called a force field before. Or Spy Master leaves with Ross and Betty as hostages. And even though this is probably not because I always think it's really funny seeing people be carried by someone else just by their side, because somehow I can't imagine that's how it would work in real life. I feel like they would have a better way of holding it than just like
than like a duffel bag.
Yeah. I just always think that's so funny seeing that. So which I said that in reference to the fact that let's see, because Betty is being carried by Mr. Cosmo Clean, and back at the lab, Bruce is trying to find a defense against the crystallizer, and Rick runs in saying, "Nothing's working, Doc," and which is a little bit of a weird thing to me, as what was Rick doing against it when it's in a plane? How is he doing anything against it? So Bruce says, if there's an answer, this computer will find it. And the computer says, there's only one thing that can defeat it: the Hulk, the Hulk, the Hulk.
They just keep saying it. And I love that.
I thought it was hilarious, even though it's just like it seemed really completely ridiculous with the computer
Just
is
knows.
like, yes, just knows.
The Hulk, the Hulk, the Hulk.
And also, that was really cool how it has like this little 8-bit Hulk that's on the screen.
Yep.
Oh man, so the also really find it hilarious that that's really is such a convenient way for there to be a reason that Bruce has to reverse his cure. And then Bruce shouts, "No, it's impossible. I'm cured. I can't become the Hulk again." And then Rick tells him, "The Hulk is dead. You're cured." And did Rick not think that Bruce realizes that?
He had to drive it home.
So Bruce says there's no other choice, that the weapon will destroy cities and make a spy master be able to rule the world. And as we mentioned, right, like I find it hilarious how this whole conversation in the background, the computer just keeps repeatedly saying, "The Hulk, the Hulk, the Hulk." We see a Bruce working on the gamma machine, and we hear Stan Lee say, "Tormented beyond description, Banner knows what must be done. In order to save those who need him, he must sacrifice himself. The Incredible Hulk must live again." Rick then tries to stop him, but he refuses to listen. And he lays in the gamma machine, and Bruce Bruce hears the words of Jamala in his head saying, if he's cursed again, they cannot help him, that there is no cure for the Hulk. Rick asks if Bruce is okay after it's over, and Bruce doesn't respond, but he starts knocking stuff over as he can't find balance. It randomly, really quick cuts to Spy Master pulling Betty away from the plane's window and closing the blind. And then we see a Bruce start transforming into the Hulk again. Hulk knocks over every single lab table for no reason as he runs out of there. And I love this.
Yes.
Oh,
Here's a deep question, and I know they weren't
okay.
ever even considering this back during the cartoon, but would this be a suppression when he took the potion? Would that have been a suppression of the Hulk, or did when he re-gamified himself, did he make a new version of the Hulk?
I would say
how would you lean towards that?
I would say more a suppression, and it's and like it's I like it's kind of like the potion. It's not really a cure, but a power dampening thing, and that's and because I feel like it was a very specific accident that turned him into Hulk. It's not something he would. I don't think he would just be easily able to redo that. It's
Right.
not because it wasn't just simply he got hit with gamma rays. There was more to it than that.
Yep.
So I think it's definitely was like a suppression or a power dampening thing.
Right. Yeah. With the Immortal Hulk and all the different variations that they ran through in that, and now we're getting Professor Hulk in the movies and stuff like that. That was as soon as I saw him re-gamifying himself, that was the first thing that came to my head, and I was just like, "Damn you, MCU!"
I also they make it out to like it's this magical potion. I feel like it somehow is just like some kind of scientific compound that that dampens his power for a bit and not any kind of magic, because like until later stories in the comics, I don't think they really get into a lot of magic stuff regarding Hulk at all. But I think in some of the like really big storylines, they do have some magic stuff, but not really in many of his solo stuff.
Yeah. It's one of the things he's susceptible to, but they don't mess with it all that much.
Yeah, which I like, because I like the science aspect of the Hulk a lot. So that's so I'm honestly happy that they don't do that a lot. Though there is one thing that I really do want to see in the MCU, and this is very much because of the animated film of Hulk Where Monsters Dwell. Is I want to see Hulk and Doctor Strange team up in the MCU, because I love the idea of them teaming up with the villain being Nightmare. I love the idea having that Nightmare traps him in a sign where Hulk and Banner see each other, or they have to fight. Like I think that's such a cool concept. The animated film, though, I enjoy it. I know you don't. I didn't do it. Obviously, didn't do the concept well, but I think it is an interesting concept.
Right.
Yeah. So, which Nightmare being a villain, it kind of has to be a team up with Doctor Strange.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. Now we get the Hulk out.
Yeah. See. He transforms into the Hulk again, and Rick tells him to follow me as Rick runs outside, and Hulk breaks a hole through the wall instead of trying to fit through the door, which I thought, I found really funny. I feel like Rick probably expected him to try and fit through the door, but he was just like, "Nope, I'm going to just break through the wall."
I'm the Hulk, man.
Yeah, you're the Hulk. You don't need doors. Yeah, like Hulk and Vision, that's something they have in common. They don't like doors.
Hulk, Vision, and Juggernaut.
Yup. Oh man. You know, I know a lot of people don't like the version of Juggernaut in X-Men: The Last Stand. I actually really like the line. I think it's hilarious, the line of "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch."
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. I
I
love
think that's
that.
hilarious. Oh my god! I really wish that when they brought back the Juggernaut in Deadpool 2, they had some kind of callback to that. I
Right.
feel like that would have been awesome if they did.
I wish,
Oh
yeah,
man.
somebody should have been like, "Who's that?" And Deadpool should be like, "It's the Juggernaut, bitch."
Yeah. Oh man. Oh god.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
But on
So
on the Hulk out when he's chasing after the plane and all that.
mhm.
I wrote another. I love the concrete wave that he
Oh yeah.
creates. Yeah, that's old school Marvel versus Capcom.
Mhm.
Marvel superheroes.
They also used that in the first episode,
Right. I love that. It's
which
so cool.
I like that. I like that as well. But I kind of hope that they don't do it every episode of the show. I feel because I want to see more different things, different moves from Hulk, and not just them doing that same move again and again.
Right. It
Um,
I will say it's probably an easy animation for them, so get get used to
yeah,
it.
that makes sense. Which and it also makes sense. It seems like this show definitely has a formula to it. Like you have a villain is going to try and steal something from the base, and Talbot is going to accidentally let them in, and Hawk's probably gonna do that move. It probably all gonna happen each episode.
There is one coming up and I can't wait to talk about it. It's my favorite. It's some of my favorite content in Marvel period.
Ooh, nice,
Um and it does stray from the formula.
nice. That's
So
nice. I love it when shows have like episodes that stray from the formula because it is a lot of times when shows stray from the formula, ends up being because they have like really good writers coming in having and doing a really cool storyline. So that'll be cool to see.
yes.
All right, so the we see the plane attach itself together as it gets ready to take off, which I honestly, at this point, I would have guessed it would have already taken off. I
Right.
did not realize this was like all happening within a matter of minutes. I thought this was happening like a matter of tens of minutes or even hours of sign. And they would have been long gone from here, not they're just now taking off. So oh, Cosmo alerts his boss to Hulk coming after them out the window, and Spy Master says, "Well, it's too late. The 8 now will be all airborne in seconds." And Ross, annoyed, says, "Hulk, that's just what we need." And Betty says, "That actually might be who we need right now." And they try to shoot Hulk with the crystallizer. It doesn't do anything. And but then Hulk says, "Hulk, not like." Hulk does a giant, awesome Hulk jump and then dive bombs into the plane, breaking off the back of it and causing flames and smoke everywhere as the plane heads to the ground. The whole plane has flames coming from it. So Hulk better do sign quick. And Spy Master and Mr. Cosmo Clean try to push the weapon out. The pilots jump out right as the plane starts exploding. Hulk jumps over and breaks open the side of the plane to grab Ross and Betty out of it. Which, I probably should not have been expecting this because this came out before the 2008 film, but like when he was jumping over to the plane because he realized that he has to do something, I was hoping and kind of expecting he was going to do a
to blow the flame away.
Just like he did in the 2008 film.
Right.
Yeah, the clap, I guess it's called.
Yeah, the thunderclap.
Yeah, the thunderclap, which those listening are going to just have heard me clapping my hands and then probably not going to realize until we said the thunderclap what I meant there. Oh man, yeah. So I honestly, I kind of wish that he had done that because that would have been really cool to see in animation. Let's see let's see. Hawk jumps out holding them as General Ross shouts no. and Betty tells him that that Hawk's not gonna hurt them, and Hawk puts them down on safe ground. Hawk carefully puts Betty down, but just drops Ross, which I found that pretty funny.
Oh yeah.
Ross questions Betty on how she knew that Hawk wouldn't hurt them, and Betty says, "I did. I just felt it." And Hawk is just standing there, then minding his own business, and he gets shot in the back with the crystallizer. And Hawk obviously gets mad by this, and I wrote, if your weapon didn't work on him the first time, maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't try it again. Yes. And just run away, since Hawk obviously wasn't paying attention to you till you shot him again. It's almost as if people and Hawks don't like being shot at. They keep shooting him as he walks towards them, and they only stop as he's already very close, and then they start running. And this is where Hawk grabs the ground, throwing them in the air, and they land and in mud.
Classic.
And the crystallizer breaks. Then back at Rio's, everyone's there, and Rio shouts out, "Someone's coming! Someone's coming!" Tells Rick to get outside with a sign, and Bruce asks, "What's going on?" And we find out that the sign says Rio's famous chicken wings. And I love this. I love that. This is a callback to the beginning of the episode. But sadly, every truck passes them, and Rio says, "I guess I need a bigger sign."
And I support Rio. He'll have his day.
Oh, yeah.
That's sad bastard.
Yeah. Oh, so then Betty asks, "When's Bruce gonna pick her up?" And he responds, "I'm afraid I'm going to have to postpone it as things have changed. I'm sorry." And Bruce walks away. Cue Lonely Man music. Oh wait, wrong Hawk show.
Right.
Betty as, "I don't think we'll ever have that date night." At dinner date, I mean. And we hear Stan Lee say, "Once again, Bruce Banner faces a future of torment and sorrow, but he'll never stop seeking a cure for his horrible malady. He'll never stop hoping that one day he'll destroy the monster within him." And the episode ends with that. Which, even though I made that joke there of like Q's Lonely Man music, I honestly think it would have been really cool if they did a callback act by having the Lonely Man music play at the end of this episode.
Right.
That would have been great. Oh my god.
That's my last note for the episode. I said I absolutely love the ending with Betty and Bruce, because that's classic Hulk. Yeah. It's classic Lonely Man. It's everything. And I was like, that's so cool that they gave it a nod without actually doing it.
Yeah. So honestly, like, I actually really loved this episode. And like I loved it a lot more than I loved the first episode.
Yeah.
I thought it was definitely a lot more entertaining. And this episode really makes me excited to continue reviewing this show, and a lot more than I felt with after watching the first episode. Because after watching the first episode, I was like, I'm gonna continue reviewing the show, but I'm not terribly excited because I wasn't terribly. I didn't think the first episode was terribly a great episode,
Right.
but this episode, on the other hand, though it has a worse score on IMDb, I like this episode a lot more.
Yeah. It wasn't mainstream Hulk. Like
Yeah.
the last one had Doc Ock, and it just seemed out of place because,
Yeah.
and I think that's what we were talking about on the last episode was he's a Spider-Man villain. Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was the lead-in show, so I think that's how they tried to hook kids.
I think as well because Bruce Banner and the Hulk were barely a part of the first episode. As most of the episode they were stuck in the cave,
right.
and they could have made them be a part of it by having it keep flashing back to them, but they didn't flash back to them until almost the end of the episode. So that I think is a big reason why I didn't enjoy that episode as much as this one. Versus this one, like the whole episode, you have Bruce Banner, or you have multiple Hulk outs. You have an ancient Hulk be a part of it, and also you have signs not really in many Hulk adaptations of a treasure hunt, which is really cool to see.
Yep.
So yeah, I really loved this episode.
All the side characters were represented.
Oh yeah, wow! Like, yeah, they did have a name in the episode for the guide. I just called him the guide the whole time because I didn't want to mess up his name. And because I thought that it would be better to just call him the guide and not mess up his name. I also called all the warriors of Jamala, that all just half naked people. They because of like, I don't know what they actually should be called, and I don't want to offend anyone by calling them something that's wrong. So, and calling them the half naked people is not gonna offend anyone. They are half naked people. Yeah. So, yeah. Sadly, again, just like with the first episode, I did not find any trivia for this episode. I think that's probably going to be a thing with this AD series because it's sadly not one of the more popular Hulk animated series.
Right.
Yeah.
Now there is the episode that I'm dying to get to. Actually has a lot of really cool, like, I don't want to call them Easter eggs, but a lot of little hidden gems in it
that's cool.
Little callbacks to Marvel.
Yeah. The thing is, something I have noticed, I feel like is the thing is that like Easter eggs being in these in Marvel stuff, if a lot of the stuff early 80s and before that, there were not a lot of Easter eggs in stuff. I kind of feel like Howard the Duck was where really they kind of started being like, we're going to pack things full of Easter eggs. And I think, and then after that, everything had Easter eggs. Like the one of the only times where times in like the 70s series where I found an Easter egg, like really big Easter egg, was in, I think it was the New York City episode. There is outside of an office, there is a Captain America shield.
Oh, nice.
And like not even just like the circular one that we know today. It like the original, like the one, like he
crested shield.
Yeah, like that he would use for his SEO tours, I think it was called.
Yep.
Yeah. Which like you really back then you didn't get many Easter eggs, and so that's one thing where I'm like, where I'm so happy how Marvel has evolved because I love being able to find Easter eggs and things.
Right. Like even back in the 90s animated series, you'd be watching. I forget how it went. I think it was Spider-Man had like a Daredevil Easter egg where he's like running in the background in the shadows, and they just drop little stuff like that. And then the Spider-Man X-Men crossover has little drops for both series. Like Marvel just does it right. They always have.
I think with this show, like the biggest Easter egg this show has is that Stan Lee narrates it. Which this is like one of the earliest times that Stan Lee's done much of like any kind of like appearance or I guess not appearance, but voiceover for a Marvel thing. Like, I know as well. I think in the '90s Spider-Man series, he was like the mayor or something in it. I think, but I remember something. One of the Spider-Man series, he had a role in it.
He was on the final episode of the series where he crosses dimensions and ends up in the universe where Stan Lee created Spider-Man as a comic instead of a. It's actually like the Spider-Verse. The end of the Spider-Man animated series is kind of like their Spider-Verse, where it brings in 4 or 5 different versions of Spider-Man, and at the end, Madam Web lets him go see like his creator, and it's super cool.
Wow.
And then this,
I would guess then, and for that basically he was like the one above all, where since he's being the creator.
Oh no, it was just Stan Lee like working in his office, and Spidey just pops in and he's like, "Oh my god!"
So it's like kind of like a situation like with Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, where he comes into literally our reality and kills the comic book writers. Oh man, yeah, that's so cool. And then and
what's even cooler is Madam Web was voiced by his wife, Joan.
Nice.
Yeah, so they got to work together.
I kind of hope with the Into the Spider-Verse sequel, Across the Spider-Verse, I hope they go to that 90s universe since and then as a callback to that final episode. I think that would be a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like, and then they with Stanley this is something I'm really excited to be able to get to is once I get past the 70s Hulk series, Stan Lee, his first ever live action cameo appearance is in one of the TV movies for the 70s series.
Yep.
As he's part of one of the jury. He's a jury member in a case.
Yeah,
which is so cool.
I don't know which specific episode it is, but there's another cameo.
It's not actually an episode. It is a TV movie that came out in the 90s. It's called Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
Yep. Yeah, there was that.
And it also has Daredevil in it.
Yep, I remember that. There was the other cameo back in the Hulk was
and then I think those and I don't remember which of the 2 other TV films it was, but there also one of them had Thor in it.
Yeah. Yep, that was it. Thor was in one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm trying to think. I had it on the tip of my tongue.
I don't remember if there was another one in the other Hulk film. I think they were planning on there being so there was definitely a 4th Hulk film they were planning on doing, but they had to scrap it because of Bill Bixby's death, sadly.
Right. Yeah.
Which I think, if I remember right, they were planning. I think it was a Spider-Man crossover in that one. Actually,
that would have been awesome.
Which that would have been really cool. Which does another person that I really want to see Hulk cross over within the MCU is Spider-Man.
Yep, we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, like And honestly, it kind of sucks to me that you're so because of the last scene in Endgame being Tony's funeral, you can't really get introductions between characters now because though we didn't see the introductions, they all met each other now, so we
Right.
can't. Which I for one think it would be really cool to actually have like an introduction of Hulk meeting Spider-Man, which it kind of can now happen because of what happened at the end of No Way Home. But if you believe the some things that happen in the comics, Hulk should remember who Peter is.
Right.
Yeah, so that's it. Which that also will only happen if once Tom Holland's willing to return to the role in several years, and also when I don't know whether they would legally be able to actually have Hulk appear because though Marvel Studios has a deal with Universal, Sony does not.
Right.
And I'm wondering if that's part of the reason why they never chose Hulk to be a crossover character for the Spider-Man films,
or even in Civil War.
Yeah. Hulk and other characters, and really even just like lots of character crossovers in general, is like a really big thing that I want to see a lot of more in the MCU. Is like just two one-on-one character or interactions, which we haven't really got much of. Like the only really ones I can think of right now is like you have Hulk and Thor and Ragnarok, and then Captain America with Black Widow and the Winter Soldier. Like
aside from that, well, Spider-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Like another one that I really want to see is like is Spider-Man teaming up with our new Captain America, Sam Wilson. Like, just because in real life it's hilarious their banter together, and I want them to bring that banter into the films.
Right. They tried a little. I mean, they laid the groundwork in Civil War.
Yeah, and then they never continued it at all. Yep. They never had them appear on screen together again. And that's kind of saddens me because I think that was really fun having them on screen together.
Yeah, those press tour videos of the two of them together were hysterical.
Oh yeah, they still to this day they still do every once in a while bits of banter, whether it be on social media or at conventions that they go to, and it's just hilarious.
That's great.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I'm gonna get this episode wrapped up real quick. Like since we're getting close to 11 o'clock, I don't want you to have to wait up too long for this recording. So all right. So the answer to the trivia question from earlier was the Fear Itself storyline.
Yes.
Have you ever read the Fear Itself storyline?
I have Fear Itself is no.
I have not read it myself. I got the question online, so I can't really say much about it, other than I know from the question that Hulk turns into Null.
Yeah, the World Breaker. I don't believe I've read that all the way through. When you first started talking about it, I wanted to call it Original Sin because that's a really cool storyline. I don't know if you know the history behind that.
No, I don't.
Somebody plucked out the Watcher's eye.
Oh.
And it basically explodes in front of like the main cast of Marvel heroes and villains. And when the eye pops, it reveals what the Watcher has seen that other heroes didn't know.
Oh, wow.
So it tells like this, I don't even know if they considered it canon or if it went back and forth, but it shows that like Tony Stark was responsible for Banner being turned into the Hulk. Oh. But they let Banner know that Stark's responsible. So he goes after Iron
Oh
Man
God.
with all the
Why
rage.
did they tell him that?
Right.
That doesn't seem smart.
But that's how they introduce was it Angela from the Spawn comics into the mainstream Marvel line.
Okay.
That's how she got brought in.
Okay. Yeah.
Was the original
I don't know a lot about her. Or the main thing I know about her is from is do you ever watch a YouTube channel called Film Theory? It's hosted by a guy named Matt Pat. He does these theories. What is like they're always really ridiculous theories of areas, but they're always really fun. And he was like he say like he thinks that they could try and bring in Angela in Thor: Love and Thunder for I think it's like someone's love interest, and it would be like a really big thing for them to do that.
That would be huge.
And and like all his videos, like watching it is like it like I know there's most likely are not gonna happen, but it would just be so cool if they happened. Like
right.
Another one he did was one where on during the when I think it was either last year or the year before during the Donny Cates Thor run where or one where you had the like this I think it was the Black Winter who was going across different universes destroying them.
Yep.
And he was like basing on things like with Venom and possibly coming into the MCU, the Blade and Eternals, the Gore being a part of Thor, like and there were a couple other things that he mentioned, like he was like Thor could be Thor could bring like the end of worlds, which would be like so crazy and so cool if they did that. And AdSense, and it also would tie into the fact that they're doing multiverse stuff right now.
Right.
Yeah. Since I think Black Winter and Gore are supposed to be connected somehow. Like, isn't like Gore like or Black Winter like supposed to be like the one up from Gore of like he
boss level?
Yeah. So and so that would be so cool. I don't expect it to happen, but yeah, if you ever want some really interesting but like ridiculous theories, is I really suggest us checking out Film Theory.
I will check that out.
Yeah, like he makes it. He's not like say like I know you were mentioning on your podcast like you don't like how sometimes new rock stars are like presents their theories as fact. He never presents anything as fact. He's like
nice.
He in his videos he's like we're like he mentions like whenever he's doing Marvel theories, it's like he's like 10% of the time when I do theories it ends up being true. And he always makes a joke about how inaccurate he ends up being a lot of time.
Nice.
Yeah.
That whole it's not just like new rock stars. It's a problem in Star Wars fandom. It's everywhere.
Like I like new rock stars, and it's mainly just mainly for me. I like them not so much trying to get theories from them, but I like it. I like getting like the really in-depth analysis they do. Yeah, because like as most podcasts I listen to, they don't go that deep into episodes. And and I like finding the nitty-gritty from things.
Yep. Yeah, they do a great job on breakdowns. It's just the whole, imagination canon that I read a little bit about this, and it's so out of whack.
They have one series they have one series they do that it's kind of imagination canon, but they do it. They always say that it's not actually real stuff, and it is. They have one series called Rogue Theory. Have you seen any of their Rogue Theory episodes? So, basically, Rogue Theory, they will be like they'll have like one host who presents with a question, and they have like 4 people who give their most rogue and crazy and hilarious theories for what that question could mean. And like they don't they make sure in those episodes, at least they try to make sure to tell you like these are not real, this is not, don't take this as fact, these are not going to happen. But I love those just because I love absolutely ridiculous series.
Yeah.
And they go to some really ridiculous places. Like that. Like I know there's one of the people they have on there who like half their theories revolve around trying to get superheroes to have sex, which I find hilarious. Which like particularly just from that, like it's not something serious. They're not telling you this is going to happen just from that.
It's just something to goof around with.
Yeah, like which I would love to be able to do something like that at some point. Like have like my own kind of version of rogue theory, because I love the idea of bringing people's imagination into trying to create the most crazy and out there storylines for Marvel to go with. I that would be so cool at some point if I actually had like the confidence to try and be the host of something like that. I would love to be able to do something like that, or even just participate in something like that to kind of trying to make a game out of it.
Right. Who can crack the hosts up the most with their wild theory?
Oh man, that would be very great. Well, thank you for listening. If you like this gamma analysis, please give a 5-star review. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode, so please let me know. And if you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more gamma analyses from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Smash Trivia John, signing off.